This episode is brought to you by Whoop. Whoop is a 24/7 health and fitness wearable that tracks your daily activity and gives detailed breakdowns of your sleep, recovery, stress, and more to help provide you with personalized insights and feedback on your health. With 140 trackable daily habits, Whoop can help show the positives and negatives of your lifestyle. Try Whoop for 1 month free and start the journey towards a healthier you. Head to join.whoop.com/mayhem to get started.
Just sounds nasty, man.
It is nasty. Good. We're here.
Let's lead with that.
What are we leading with?
Well, just your sickness. Is it from trying to chase me down all weekend?
The fact that I beat you with probably some type of the flu.
So what was your? I didn't get to see you do Grace. What?
I just did 18 and 12 singles, I think.
How long did it take? Any idea?
I just had to make up the 2 reps that Chase was behind Rory, and then that happened really quickly.
3 reps.
What'd you do? What was your plan?
Me? Just, dude, it's the first time that I had any amount of confidence going into an event.
Because you said you're good at Isabel.
Yeah, and the way it played out in my mind, and I may be totally tripping, but I was joking, of course, because I just always assumed everybody was going to beat me. But I went at Chase hard when he was like, "I'm doing Isabel." I was like, "Yeah, let's go."
Yeah, he was fired up about that.
And then the next day, he like maybe an hour before the event, he came up. He's like, "Hey, man, if you tell me how you're going to break it up, I'll tell you how I'm going to break it up." And I was like, oh, I got him. I got him.
You got him. Well, and you had the advantage of being behind him.
I did.
Yeah.
But
Rory was like staggered barbells. And so Chase literally at one point like stands a rep up and looks to see if Rory's still going. And I was like, oh, he's beat. And the problem was
he dropped at 15. I went to 20.
He dropped it. No, he dropped it
Nice.
like 17. But
I said that. I thought 17 too, but then he said 15.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 17. But then instead of just you just start doing singles from there. There were the dead plates. Like there's really no, once you break.
He panicked.
And he tried to like do 3s and 4s and like step back. There's almost literally no reason to do that. If you can just pick it up, just keep picking. That's all I did.
I like to believe that I could do 20 in a row.
You probably could. I was like through 15. I was like, this is awesome. I think I keep going. I might go unbroken. Then I was like, nah, I don't want to.
Things happen between 15 and 20.
Well, I was just like, I don't want to.
And I bet you guys because you've said this before, but I hitch it and I catch it on my thighs.
Yeah, you do like a real. You have like a real slow hitch to the bottom. Yeah,
wonky touch and go. Yeah, you got to be fluid with it.
Yeah, I just don't like. I don't know if it's my knee or what, but I just don't like that all the way to the ground.
I've got these patches
brush.
of hair gone.
Yep.
I brush here.
Yeah, I brush to slow down just a little bit. Jorge doesn't touch at all.
A lot of people do that now.
It just hurt. That hurts my back.
I can do it with like 95 pounds, but that's about it. Like do the snake snatch.
I don't even try.
I was thinking back. Do you remember when Dave Lipson and Josh Everett, they set up some face-to-face Isabel?
Yeah.
And it was the wildest, it looked like, not everybody, but like a lot of regional athletes when we did Randy and it was just 75 pounds and they were just hauling it,
Yeah.
They were hitting 135 like that. It's the same thing for my back.
Birds cutting
Was
arrows.
that a cicada in here?
Yeah, no.
Gotcha.
I do. You think you could do Randy unbroken? I don't think I can even come close.
I don't think I can either. And I think I did it one time.
What is it, 75?
75
pounds.
And I don't do the maybe if I wasn't doing the
you have to do
kill
it.
your back.
Yeah, you have to be just disgusting because that way you're not hanging on as long.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I thought for sure I could do it. I think I got to like 35. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did they do 75 in a row?
I'm done.
I was just working out by myself.
Yeah, working out by yourself. You need
if I was gonna, to hang on to it. It's like Karen Unbroken. Like I'm not gonna do Karen Unbroken unless I have to.
That's where I was at with Grace. It was like
it's probably also like when we were doing a community event, you know what I mean? But like in a regional atmosphere, I have to imagine you guys can speak to it. But like if your jam is pitched, you're like, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Like that was with me with Chase. I was like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Like
that's your regionals.
That's my regionals, dude. I'm actually not gonna work out ever again. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
What was Boz's joke? People there could say they worked out or they competed at the semifinal with Rich Froning.
That's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it's not a lie.
Technically not a lie.
They did.
And I was really surprised actually that Boz gave up the lead.
Were you?
He did a snatch or no?
He did clean and
He did
jerk.
Grace.
He did Grace.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Henry did 30 unbroken thrusters at 135.
Just clean and smooth.
Yeah,
like,
it looked
it
like
probably
it was
wasn't even
nothing
hard for him, was it?
Didn't even look like he was sweating.
That is the easiest of the 3. I mean, I don't want to do that. Oh, you don't think?
Oh, I hate a thruster, man.
I mean, I think for sure I can do 30. I can do 30 thrusters at 135 unbroken. It'd be kind of painful, but like there's a question if I
just
do
wouldn't
Isabel
want to. I would rather do Grace or Isabel.
I don't want to do that. 30 thrusters.
30 thrusters.
I think it is the easiest of the three.
Oh, that just thrusters, man. They just get my heart rate just goes through the roof. And then that poor kid. It was one of the best moments of the entire thing.
Oh,
but
yeah.
then,
They let the time cap go.
Yeah.
Because there was another team that they were just about to finish Grace. And then the other kid, he said he was supposed to do Grace. But while they saw the time cap wasn't going to happen, he's like, hey, you just go. I don't really care about, doing the workout.
So
you do Grace. So he didn't think he'd have to do anything. And then he gets stuck with thrusters at 135 and had never done a thruster.
And then the whole crowd around him, come on in.
And
I was like,
this is the community event. We're going to let the time cap go. Let's just watch him here. And it was awful.
You squat clean thrusters at 135?
No, he did.
Oh, okay, you cycled them?
Yeah, he did I think he did 10 off the rip and then 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2.
Hopefully there's video somewhere because the picture doesn't do it justice, but he hits his last one, he just crumbles over the bar, but he's supposed to go to the red mat.
So I picked his
Rich
ass
literally picks him up and carries him.
Nah, you're going to finish this thing out.
You see my comment on that post? I was like, man, Rich should get like 2 minutes off because he finished with a Jorge carry. But yeah, shout out to Jorge. That was cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, man, I hope that thing grows in the future.
Yeah, it was cool.
Like at French Throwdown was so massive.
Yeah.
I'm sure logistically it's a nightmare, but cool to have those things like together.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. I was surprised. The weather was great for it too. It was I noticed on Sunday when we walked in, it was piss pouring.
Yeah, the team of two were supposed to be on. Yeah.
But the humidity wasn't crazy at that point either, so that was nice.
And then it's got sunny and humid after
that. So we hit it right at the perfect time when we did it on Saturday.
I think the thing that everyone wants to know is, what was your access like?
I got everywhere I wanted to go.
Okay.
Yeah, I walked up, and the lady was like, oh, here's a partner pass. It gets you pretty much everywhere. And she's like, how many you need? and then Wilson came up and gave me a coach's pass so I could get back there with the athletes. Nice. Darren used that a lot. On Saturday, I felt fluey, so I didn't want to be around everybody and get everybody sick for Sunday. So I worked in the back. And then Sunday I was there most of the day, just kind of shooting shit and keeping the mood lively.
Yep.
About to have a heart attack when Luke.
Oh,
Good
man.
Lord.
I texted him this morning.
I was like, what do you do? Why? I'm like, you didn't need to do that. You know? So.
That's exactly what I said. Dude, the best.
He did 30 cals in 30 seconds. I looked at, who was I sitting with, Foster? I think I was sitting with Foster, and I looked at him. I was like, that was dumb.
So we're sitting there.
And then he misses that last ring muscle up or no reps, whatever.
Mountain Ops has combined my two biggest passions, fitness and the outdoors, as well as sourcing quality ingredients. Mountain Ops Supplements has helped me get the most out of my training sessions in and out of the gym. If you want to start taking your results seriously, I've put together a bundle of Mountain Ops products. New and returning customers save 20% on their purchase when you visit mountainops.com and use the code Froning. That's MTNOPS.com, code FRONING. What could happen if you committed 1 year to better nutrition? The RP Diet app provides a virtual nutrition coach and a year of nutrition guidance for less than $8 a month. Take the guesswork out of your nutrition. Head over to rpstrength.com and use the code Froning for a year of the RP Diet app for only $89.99.
Well, let me read my text. What I said? Where is our text? I said, well, I guess I can't say this. I said, if you ever do that again in the first 30 seconds of workout, I'm coming on the floor and I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only like viable answer to that.
To which he responded, what?
It would be different if he had to do that.
Yeah.
He was solidly in ninth. And it's a good workout for him.
He just needed to pace it, do
45 seconds on the bike. And then hit the muscle ups, but then when he started dropping the dumbbells, I'm like, I mean, somebody has to have a picture of it. Everybody's sitting down, and I'm standing in the stands like this, watching Luke. Because Seth and Dre smashed that workout.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what they needed to do. Yeah. And then I didn't,
He just needed to do the ring muscles unbroken, shake it out. Stop just over halfway on the lunge, set him down, wait a second, and then finish it.
Yeah. And then he's getting to where he's like the dumbbells are starting to turn inside out.
That's what happened when the dumbbells started moving him around.
And I'm surprised he didn't get a couple no reps because he was just slamming his knee, and then his feet are shuffling, and I'm like, oh,
yeah, he shuffled his feet there at the end, and right before the yellow line for it was like the second or third to last yellow line, he shuffles his feet, and they call him back, and I'm like,
speaking of that, Tyler got no repped
by someone who wasn't his judge.
It wasn't his judge, and it wasn't a no rep.
Yeah,
his feet were behind the line. The dumbbells were up, and he took a lunge. I don't think it would have mattered.
I think it was that he took a little part step with his other foot before he took the step with the lunge foot.
Like so, where
but he was still behind the line.
I thought he did start behind the line.
Somebody sent me a video, and they're like, I don't see how this is a no rep.
Yeah,
but I watched it a couple times, and at no point do I see a no rep.
I don't see it
because it was after he had dropped the dumbbells.
Was it towards the end?
It was like middle.
Oh, I don't know. The one towards the end, I would say, was probably a no rep if they're gonna be nitpicky.
Yeah.
Because his foot, like his foot that's not lunging, shuffles forward, and then the other one.
The one at the beginning was at the very beginning was he needed to go behind the. He was not.
He also thought he did 16 ring muscle ups, so I don't know if they counted wrong or if he got a no rep.
I thought I counted one wrong too, but
he did do. I thought he had a no rep.
But I think he got a no rep.
I know he got one no rep.
I think he got a no rep.
He was flirting with it. He was pushing back a little bit.
The other thing with Luke that was funny is he was literally in the heat with the guy, Travis Mayer, that was pretty much going to come for his spot.
Yep.
And so he could have, in theory, if he knew the math, paced off of him a little bit and tried to stay within X amount of spots, knowing that the next heat's going to maybe middle them.
Yeah, just like if he beats me, try to let no one else come between us.
Yeah,
in this heat.
But I don't think he did that.
I don't think there was anything going on up here after a while. It was just like survival.
Yeah, we're all watching that. It is so good. So I'm sitting next to Madison, and Sam's already right behind us, and Julie's right behind Sam. And like as soon as the workout starts and Luke starts tearing the bike up, me and Sam look at each other, and we'd like both put our hands on our face. And I'm like, what is he doing? We're all looking at each other, and his hand's the first one up, and Julie goes, yeah, Luke, let's go.
And you're like,
and we look at her and go, Julie, no, do not encourage this. She's like, what? He's winning. I go,
then he got the one muscle up that he finished and got no rep, and he came down, and I was like, it's over. It's over.
I was freaking out.
Dude, I left after the women, and so I was in my car, and I'm sorry, I admit it, if you were driving through Knoxville at that time, I was being tremendously dangerous. But dangerous. I was screaming, dude. I was just freaking out. Made for great spectator experience. You know what I mean? Like the drama at the end of the weekend.
Oh my gosh.
The way the workouts were drawn up and stuff. For me, that was I like a good slow motion lunge race to the finish with all that drama. There was some some interesting foot placement where you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Was I good or not?
My goodness. I guess we can start back over though.
I don't know, man. You scratch the surface of if we go straight to the end. I mean, you scratch the surface.
All right, we're done.
No, just Tyler.
Oh man, that hurts.
Oh, we're going right to the end.
Oh, we're really doing that, huh?
We're going right to the end.
They started it.
All right.
Oh, I thought we were gonna jump back now. We can do it.
Let's start. Let's jump back. We'll come to the end later. 7 men out of 11. Even though there were some heartbreaking misses, our Mayhem athletes.
And then you had Seth just outside. Seth, Dre, and Tyler.
I've never been so invested in an athlete as Dre.
And Vigneault was right there too. It was like, what was it, 11 of the 14 or something?
Well, the only guy that was in the just out of the next 4 was Taylor Self.
Yeah.
All the rest were Mayhem.
Yeah.
That was the thing. It was like
Mayhem, keeping Mayhem out.
Yeah, if we were rooting for one of our guys to get in, we were going to have to kick another one of our guys out.
Yeah.
So it was kind of awkward.
Yeah, when it came down to that last spot, they had the camera on Seth. And
when they showed camera on Seth, I was like, oh, he did.
I knew he did good.
Really well.
I knew he did
Dre
really
beat
good.
him.
Yeah.
And
I was like,
I don't know how much that would have.
I didn't know where Vigneault was going to end up. I didn't know where Taylor was going to end up, but I knew that Dre had smashed it, Seth did really good, and Luke did kind of poor.
Yeah.
It was like, this could be interesting.
No.
The drama got ruined for me because someone in the pit figured out who was in what spot, and they were like, hey, Luke made it by 9 points. Seth is 12th. And I was like, oh, sweet. So then when the thing's happening, there's no tension.
Yeah. I usually do the math before, but sometimes I like to
Foster had some guy that was like sending us points available, like what they needed to place to guarantee a spot and all this. Like,
I always have
wizardry math.
I always have the whatever the table of numbers is. I always know. So like I knew like Sam was clinched.
Surprised. I never even knew when I was competing.
Really, I always know. I always know, like.
Which begs the question, too, like, why does it take so long for the broadcast? I know they want to triple check.
I know.
And make sure, because there have been some awkward finishes.
I was about to say, haven't they done some where they were like, oh, you made it? No, never mind.
They chase a dude down in the parking lot. Hey, no, you're in. Hey, sorry, dude, you're out.
Who is that? The host with the big mustache from Family Feud.
Steve Harvey.
Remember Miss Universe?
Oh, yeah.
And like on live television.
Yeah.
Thousands of people, millions of people probably watching. He goes, wait. I'm sorry.
So we had 11 of the top 16, and we had 12 guys in the top 20 of the East.
Wow.
The hardest semifinal in the world.
Yeah.
Let me just
For
add
sure
that
the
in there.
hardest.
Yeah. Tremendous.
We're not talking about the West here. You know?
No, yeah, this isn't the West. We're talking about an actual semifinal.
Okay, so if we are going back in time, like what was notable? Of course, I want to talk a lot about teams, but any events that you particularly liked? I'll start the bidding.
Go ahead.
Watching Ben Smith beat his old time from 2016. Like I loved I really enjoyed the snatch ladder, and it was funny because I was sitting with the Border Patrol.
Dude, Jack Rose must smash that workout.
Oh yeah, he did.
And
what a save, dude, on 265.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
But it was funny to see, like, so two of the people were like, actually JR, who is their commanding officer, Bird did his daughter's wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're like old school. And then one of the girls owned an affiliate for like 10 years, but there was one who seemed like she was just seeing it for the first time. And just to see her eyes and like her excitement and trying to get behind it, the snatch was definitely it.
Yeah, snatch was a fun one to watch.
Yeah. The handstand walk was so
it was all about the row.
Yeah.
It was cool to see how fast Sam Conway is on his hands.
But it just
he would be like 3 or 4 seconds off.
Yeah.
And I told Foster, I was like, watch this. Sam will catch him. He's like, no chance. Sam blew by him.
Yeah.
Gets back to the rower and then just like Hopper's pulling a 133 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, looking back at the workouts, it was a little bit more biased to the heavier, taller athletes.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah.
You know, I wouldn't have thought that in the beginning, but I would have liked to seen an obstacle or something there just to trip them up a little bit maybe, or make them at least consider. But it was literally just a hand sprint.
Yeah.
But that really even didn't matter.
Or just a little longer. It could have been a little longer. Yeah. a little longer traverse. Like it could have been all the way down, all the way back every single time.
Every single time might have been a better.
Would have made it, evened it out.
Yeah, it was very heavily rowed.
Actually, Ben Smith and I in the back were talking about the bike workout where, like, on paper, with those legless rope climbs, you're like, you know, that's going to be an even test.
Legless whatsoever.
It's not. And
it was a high box jump where you had to step down, except for if it's the last rep, you know.
Yeah. If you're a powerful guy, you're gonna do good on a 10-calorie bike.
Yep.
You're probably taller, or you're explosive, so you're gonna jump high and, you know, have 2 or 3 pulls to the rope, which is already a short rope. You're gonna have longer legs. You can step down from the box easier. It's just like, okay, this is a big guy working.
And then I noticed people jumping to the side of the box and swinging their foot around. I was like, hey, you know, that's
we
just
talked
a poor standard.
We said if it would have been 10 bike, 1 seated legless, 10 box jumps, then it would have been a little. I mean, not that I just think it could, or it could have been
seated legless, but
or it could have been 10 2 legless, 10 1 legless,
or even 2 again.
Yeah, which would have evened it out. So I think they thought that it was going to be a gymnastics
and maybe for
test.
the ladies it was.
I was going to say,
or that,
or they made it for the
so
ladies.
It definitely should have done a 2.
But if you done 2 for the guys, then you still scale back to 1 for the ladies. You get the same stimulus.
Same stimulus.
I think
we've lost. I think the same stimulus thing between men and women. The weights are not anywhere near comparable anymore. Watching the girls do the run, clean and jerk was not
cycling
the same workout.
Almost all the top 10 girls do all 10 on broken.
Really wasn't the same ish workout either. So girls are getting strong.
The front squat was okay. I thought the front squat was okay. I don't know if the 10 at 155 and 225. That's probably the only one that was comparable.
Comparable-ish.
But yeah, it's just like they're stronger than they were than what they programmed for them now.
Yeah,
like that should have been 135 for the girls. On the clean and jerk
at the semifinal level for sure. Like maybe open quarters, whatever. But
yeah, it needs to be 75%.
Yeah,
instead of 70%.
We're moving to 75.
75% would be even.
When it comes to training flooring, durability is the most important factor. With Regapol's established 65-year history, the decision for our studio flooring was simple. Made from recycled tires, Regapol floors are indestructible, durable, and easy to install, and has less smell than other rubber flooring products on the market. To purchase, go to roguefitness.com and search Regupol. That's spelled REGUPOL. Get strong, grow durable, and unlock your potential on Regapol rubber flooring. Recover faster, breathe easier, and increase your endurance with Airwave's scientifically proven performance mouthpiece. If high-intensity or interval-style training is your sport, try their patented endurance mouthpiece. I opted for the Mayhem 2-pack with 1 of each. For podcast listeners only, save 15% of your purchase at airwave.com/Froning. That's airwave.com/Froning.
Yeah, that's scary. But then,
Why? Because your weights are gonna go up.
No, not for me. No, I'm just saying like it's
Well, I'm
scary
saying
how
if the
scary how strong they're getting. You know
If
what
the
I mean?
women's RX goes up, that means your RX weight goes up.
Yeah, you always have to do 5 pounds more.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't think that I was actually wondering like if I could do the women's snatch ladder. In the
What does it end at?
Probably, but
175.
It wouldn't be easy.
You could do it at once.
Dude.
What?
Come on.
You'd be done in
You just did
30
Isabel
seconds.
and-
Let's do it.
All right.
But it
So
is
we
forced
should do it
squat
again.
snatch.
I want to
Does
go
that
head to
make
head
it
with
harder for
Scott.
you?
What's
It's
that?
forced to be squat snatch. Does that make it any harder for you?
No, I'm happy with the squat snatch.
What are the weights? It ends at 175.
It's like
135 to 175.
so 35, 45, 55, 65, 75.
Dude,
All
you
right,
do-
I take
you
it back.
do.
I take
That
it
video of Heber doing the
It wouldn't be
squat clean
easy,
ladder
but-
to Cara
back.
Saunders.
So good.
That one's good. Have
Yeah.
you seen that? It's an old one from like
Him and
2016.
remember Ian?
Oh yeah.
Ian was
Oh,
great.
potato foot Ian. Scott's
Yeah.
like Scott's nearing potato
Oh,
foot.
he is,
It
man.
really is.
You should spray paint those things black, and you'd be the spitting image.
I can get a pair of these in black.
Oh no.
If that was the
Done
exact.
deal.
You wore
Thank
those
God.
all the time.
Done deal.
Thank God.
But yeah,
Were
it was
they
10
leather?
642 squat clean. What?
Were those shoes leather? The
Oh
ones?
yeah.
They were
All
leather.
leather though.
Yeah,
Leather
so
bottom.
the black ones of these are leather.
Okay, it's
Oh.
probably
It might have
the
been the
shoe.
same
I bet you
shoe.
there's more shoe to that though. Like his were like moccasins.
They were like potato feet. That
I don't
kids
think
wear.
there is more shoe to what he's
I
wearing.
don't think there's
Have you
more
seen these
shoe.
things? Have you not heard him like flapping around with those things?
There's not more shoe to it. I promise
God,
you
I
that.
miss Ian.
How
Oh.
were they all weekend standing on?
They're
Ben was-
great.
Ben was complaining. I like it. I think
no,
you like
So
shift more midfoot. He tries to still sit on his heels. But
on Friday for the run, I was outside running with a gimbal, and I wore a different pair of shoes that will not be named because I thought.
I know what shoe you're talking
I
about.
thought
We
that
talked about
I didn't want these to turn green.
You
'cause I was
wore
running
rads,
the gra-
didn't you?
No, but they gave me the other ones gave me a blister. So then these saved my feet the rest of the week. So the potato
They were
foot
rads.
was a
What?
winner.
Potato feet. Did you ever see the video of Ian? So he's trying to spoof his buddy because I guess his buddy has a really funny
What is Ian doing now?
he's doing freelance stuff in LA. But his buddy took, remember like Castro's crazy long deadlift video? Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
So his buddy, I guess, did something like that. Or he was trying to make fun of Dave. So he's got a PVC pipe and he's struggling through it and whatever.
Did he pass out?
He fell on his face, just flat out, like,
Passes out.
like bloody nose and everything. And everybody's like, oh my God, you joking? Like, what's going on? And he legit passed himself out trying to spoof
Dave.
Castro.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome.
That's what you get.
Yeah, that's what you get.
That's good.
That's funny.
Okay. What before we get to teams, Roman, better or worse than you thought he'd do?
Great. I
Yeah.
mean, that was like, what are they? 6 points between the top. I mean, I think
Yeah, 6
Yeah.
points.
I
between
think
him
he
and-
did really well.
first.
Kind of answering the call to the Adler stuff, and I think he did good.
Yeah.
Dallin Pepper jumping in there in the middle. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
So
Down's a
Good on-
stud, man.
good
He
on
does
him.
good on those last events.
Yeah.
Like those, he's good
Well,
on the
they
bike.
were very big
Yeah.
athlete events. So.
I like did you see the interview where they got kind of chippy?
Yeah,
So-
that was good.
Who was it?
Dallin and
I
Roman.
forget what she asked him. Bella Martin
She
said.
asked Dallin. No,
She asked Roman something, and he was like,
No, sorry. She started with Dallin, and then she went to Roman, and Roman choked back as we're like, Dallin's like, yeah, well, Roman got me on this one, whatever. Like, he did great. He's good at the bike. And then Roman's
she
like,
asked what it's like being in front, and he was like, well, I don't know about any of that, but
he goes, I didn't make any mistakes.
tell Dallin I didn't make any mistakes. That's why I beat
Yeah.
you. And then she started to outro the piece, and Dallin grabbed the mic, and he was like, well, we still got one Echo bike left, buddy.
Yeah.
And then he just did a walk off. It was
Because Dallin was like, what happened is as he was stepping down, he tried to move his box a couple times. He got a couple no reps, and then Roman, is like, well, I didn't make that mistake, and then Dallin's like, well, we got another bike event, buddy.
That's good. That's good.
good for the sport.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
And
I mean,
it was good natured too.
it was so close to the top that if Roman doesn't take a 12th on that snatch ladder, he wins by double-digit points.
Yeah.
Tell me
That's
about
crazy.
the just wad of toilet paper in his nose on the snatch.
He does that when he has nosebleeds. He did
Okay.
it during quarterfinals for the muscle up wall-facing rope climb. That one,
Why is he in nosebleeds?
I don't know.
Why does anybody get nosebleeds?
I
I don't know. I
think
didn't know if it was.
I think
I
he
don't know.
just whipped that thing out and shoved it up his nose like while he was out there. So
Oh,
he
really?
he was prepared
Nice.
for it.
Just that intense internal body pressure, you know.
I guess.
Have you ever seen the guys that when they deadlift like 1,000 pounds at the Rogue
Oh yeah,
strongman
it's
stuff?
like freaking.
Something just
Or he'd like pop a blood
They
vessel
get
on the
halfway up
forehead
and-
and just squirting out the forehead.
Yes.
Insane.
It's just like it's like something in their nose just cracks and it starts dripping.
It's seriously that internal. They
Yeah.
get their blood pressure so high from how much pressure they're
It's
creating.
crazy.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
Doesn't
No,
seem
I'm trying to
healthy.
think.
I'm not a doctor.
Doesn't seem healthy.
Yeah, yeah.
Forcing your body to bleed out of your
No.
forehead. I don't think so.
Rupturing blood vessels from exertion.
Because I think they'll bleed out of their eyes too, right? I mean, they'll bleed out everywhere. Just all all the orifices just start bleeding.
Plenty of blood vessels go
all
around.
All their orifices start bleeding. Or they're non-orifices. I mean, I guess it's
orifices.
a pore.
Yeah, a pore, I guess, is kind of an orifice.
It turned
it
it
usually
into
don't
one.
bleed out of it.
Yeah.
Though.
Turned it into
the
one.
definition of an orifice.
A hole to your... A human orifice? A hole that's attached to your body, I guess.
Here we go. We're going to learn something today.
An opening as of a pipe or tube or one in the body, such as a nostril or the anus.
Nice.
Those are the two
close.
examples it
Pretty close.
gave.
Example, nostril or
So it
anus.
doesn't have to
Nostril or
be
anus.
body though.
Oh, no.
So it could be a
Orifice
tube.
could be anything,
Yeah.
yeah.
The similar words that pop up, one of them is cranny. I love that word.
Cranny. Old cranny.
Well, I'll get real touchy-feely, and I'll say that not even in comparison to anything. I'll just compare it to like the last couple of years. The vibe for me at Syndicate, maybe it's because we did the community thing, but even inside, like, it felt good.
Good crew in there.
Yeah.
I think what happened the last couple times they did Syndicate was you had Mac the weekend before or whatever.
So you get kind of half the crowd.
You get kind of burnt out on watching CrossFit events back-to-back weekends. So I thought it was really good. It was cool.
And not even
Sunday was really busy in there.
Saturday was packed too.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
those days were packed.
Oh,
there was a
sorry. I
bunch
was
of-
only in there on Saturday during the team events, and it wasn't packed. Surprise, surprise.
And I think
I'll say the team events were hard to follow.
Everyone said that.
They got to do a better. Like if they want that side, which I don't know
Everyone
if they
said
do
that.
want that side to grow, but you've got to make the
So
workouts
annoying.
better to follow. And what was the point of the 4 lunges?
I
That
don't
was
know.
that
Just
workout was
advance
dumb.
the worm.
And the 5 muscle ups.
Yeah.
Like you
We-
could have. It could have been a 2-part workout, like muscle up and lunge, and then finish with clean and jerk burpee or something.
Yeah.
There was just
It was like, we
No
haven't done this,
imagination.
we haven't done this. Here you go.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Not my favorite programming overall for the teams.
That
I'll go ahead and say
workout was
that. I'll say
really
all
hard.
Yeah, I bet it
Workout
was.
was really
Yeah, but you can make
hard.
it.
'Cause
You
it's
make
10
any
clean and jerks and
any
15 burpees.
workout with clean and jerks and burpees
Yeah.
is hard.
Yeah.
So
The muscle ups, if they were ring, it would have been a disaster. I'll
Really?
say that. We thought it could have been ring and it would have been hard. It would have been a freaking disaster.
Really, why?
Because the burpee and clean jerks were so hard that
really?
everyone would have been like, just, it would have been a mosh pit over at the rings where everyone just gets over there and uses us the rest.
Yeah,
And then the lunges didn't need to be there. Just advance the worm.
just
That would have been
advance the
fine.
worm. That was they were just like, we got leftover shit right there.
There it is. Stick it on there.
Stick it on there.
the only thing I could think about during that workout was I was like, man, Zoe, that must be so annoying every time that big ponytail just comes. Fa-bop. She get to the top of her muscle up and just be like, fa-bop, and then she go back down.
Goes
Fa-bop.
blind.
Yeah.
She just goes blind for half a rep and then
Yeah,
back
maybe
down.
it's helpful.
Yeah, I thought the first workout was very unimaginative. It's literally
Yeah.
all about how fast you can move.
Yeah,
in
well-
person. I hate those workouts. I think it's a dump. That was
Yeah, the worst part is that, for viewing is everyone's standing around the whole time.
It's just not the whole holding the worm with 3 people is not that cool.
No.
Like
And it was like, you're holding the worm for 15 minutes. It sucked
it's
so
not,
bad.
and it's not.
My neck was so
but it
sore.
sucks unnecessarily.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
not like
I'm
it's-
all for suffering for 15 minutes, but just holding
Yeah.
the worm while one person works
Yeah.
is dumb.
The one person working was very grid league because they had to
Yeah.
move as fast as
I'd say
humanly
a
possible.
lot of these workouts to me were very grid.
Watching Angelo do the rope
Nothing could be
climbs
more.
was the funniest
What was
thing. Angelo doing rope climbs because he did like 8 touch and go, and he
Oh,
comes down and barely taps his feet, and he has to go right back up.
Well, because it's so short. The rope climbs
Yeah.
aren't hard at all. So it's just a matter of getting through them and then just like going back and hanging out on the worm.
Yeah, that one's just cycling
Yeah.
through. Whoever's the fastest cycler. I didn't
Yeah.
love that one. I like the run throster. That's a good.
I think
good
it's a
workout.
really good workout.
That was a good workout.
That's a good workout if you're trying to get people to the games. See, you can do good on that workout. I feel like if you want to look at 2 events and say how our team's going to do at the games, you look at that one and you look at the last one. Just because it has so much worm in the last one.
Yeah.
The other one has outdoor running and worm work. Like those 2 I think were really important tests, and I think would translate to the games really well.
Yeah. Yeah. I would
That
like
one
to
was
see
really
a little
cool.
bit more muscle up volume in the last one, but other than that,
Yeah, I think you're right. 2-part would have been cool.
yeah, you could have
muscle up, lunged, and then finish with like a
finish
kind of a
with
burpee clean and
clean
jerk
jerk.
sprint,
Yep.
almost like a
or like
12,
a 3
9,
rounds
6,
of 10 and
15,
10 or something like that.
Yeah.
What was the lift? Just kind of whatever is a lift. I hate single modality stuff for teams.
I actually do have a lot of qualms with the team programming now that the more that I think about it.
Sorry, I just woke
Now
in.
that you bring it up.
I've just awoken the beast. Sorry.
I mean, so we had 5 tests, not 6. I think it needs to be 6.
Yep.
And if it's going to be
and
5.
You only had 4 at quarters. Like we shaved off a test at each way.
And then you go
an event. I hate tests.
An event. And then you make one of those 5 a lift. And I get that. Man, you're making me sick.
Welcome.
I'm sick of this program. I'm sick of this shitty programming.
I'm sick of this shit.
The lift, I get that you need to be strong, but you could test strength in a different way. We'll harp on that till the end of time.
Yep.
But you choose that to be one of the 5 events that you are going to do when it should be 6, and it should have been a 3-day competition. I know that 2 days you probably get the right teams, but I think in 3 days,
and it gets you guys out of the way so they can put the real shit.
No, I know that's exactly what. No, that's what it is. But I think you miss the duration training. The duration testing, I guess you should say, of going into the games.
Yeah.
Because the games is 4 or 5 days long.
Maybe.
You're gonna get teams
that might get 2 days.
Yeah, you get teams who've been there who've done 5 workouts in 2 days.
Yeah. Like, might be out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
If they want to do 6,
you guys will get a canopy, not even the stadium.
Yeah, we'll be out in the
We'll
be
I
out
hate
in the
that too
lot.
because it's like, I mean, to me, CrossFit is like teamwork is whatever, you know. It is hard, but when they program stuff like that at times, it gets hard to follow.
Yeah, I
didn't love the row overhead squat. That was dumb.
Yeah,
that was just that was a bad workout.
It wasn't as good. Well, it was just
you kind of called that before though, right?
Like, yeah,
it was like, just there was no point it was no point in the girls even hopping on the rower really.
Yeah, Molly did 17 calories. I did 45. She did 17, and then whatever. She was gonna do 15, but I needed her to do more than 15 up here. I'm like, just do 17.
Yeah.
And she got to 62.
And then you did.
And as soon as I get on, 28.
28.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
As soon as I get on, though, it rolls over one, and then I actually do a pull. It rolls over another one.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Yes. And then, I row 45 calories at an 18. She wrote it at like a 19 or a 2000. I said, hey, I just need you to break it up for me. You don't need to send it here. I need you to help me over there.
She was rowing at 19?
She was rowing at 19.
Hell yeah.
She's really good at like power
Machines,
output rowing for sure. And then I got back on and held like 18 again. It was a nightmare. For me, that's a nightmare. I hate rowing. So like rowing 70 calories.
You wouldn't have liked that
at an 18
that
was
community
terrible.
event.
No. Dude, I started off that first row at 2100. And I was like, stop what you doing?
Did you start on the rower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went 2 machines. You had a rower and an echo bike that both had to get to 30 calories, however you want, between 3 people, and 10 muscle ups. And then to finish each round, you would do like
10 synchro muscle ups, and then you had to do 10 box jump overs each, but like conga line.
Oh.
And so 4 rounds. It was not
cool.
bad for a 3-person workout. So
like that.
The strategy we had, though, was I rode the whole first round while they switched out on the echo bike.
Okay.
They did the bar muscle ups because they got a little bit of a rest.
Yep.
Then the second round and third round, I did bike, half and half with Henry or Chase. So whoever was on the rower just stayed on the rower. So I did 2 sets of rowing at 30 cals.
That's cool. That's a good strategy. How was your strategy?
We had like a flow chart, and everybody did like 15, 15. Well, we would do, so instead we would have a guy who would do 15 row, 15 bike.
Yeah, rest.
And then he would rest and we only did 5s on the muscle up, so we'd rotate somebody in.
Yeah.
But even that fell apart.
But I mean, you could row it like a 1600. I was rowing at 15 or 1600, and I would still finish before those guys would get off the echo bike.
Really?
I mean, you're biking hard, but the transition was so far.
Oh.
And you had to wait for them to get there. So it was like you might as well
hang on
transition.
And just move. Yeah.
So
it would have made more sense.
But yeah, so that's the team. That's pretty much we covered the team workout. So
yeah.
Now hold on though. Okay, so then what was missing? If you're saying like it should have been a 6 event or even like a 3-day event,
I think
what was missing, and like, do you really think it didn't seem like there was that much volatility, especially not at the top of the leaderboard?
Not at the top.
Like the top 2 teams were going to be the top 2 teams.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Yeah,
and I guess I wasn't. I'm talking on my ass because I don't know how close it was at the cut line.
Yeah, I mean, there really wasn't that much synchro stuff.
It was 32 points between second and third, and it was 32 points between first and second.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty spaced out, kind of spaced out of the top.
It's so hard in those, like we were talking, you got 5-6 teams that are going to be in the top 5 or 6, and then there's a fall off after that. And so
I think you probably I think you're not missing the right teams per se. I think like you obviously things might change between 8, 9, and 10, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good workouts though.
Yeah, no, exactly. The argument of we get the fittest people there is not always shouldn't be the only argument.
Oh, for sure.
It should be a good. I'm not saying you're saying that, but a lot of people use that argument. I think it could have been 6. You add one more event on the second day to start with, or before the last event. That last event was fine as the last one. I don't think you make it a 2-parter and 2 score. Or you just make it 2 separate workouts. You have a burpee clean jerk workout, and you have a muscle up worm lunge workout. Those are 2 good team workouts. You have the row overhead squat before that.
Did you only have 2 workouts where all 4 people were working at the same time? Technically,
The run, and then the last one.
That's it.
I would also like to see,
No, because the first one you're not all working.
No,
at the same time.
I agree.
The tie-in with the Navy
Someone could
SEALs
say
and
that,
the worm, it all makes sense. But I would like to also see something not contrived and not cheesy, but a new version of that. You know what I mean? That's new and different.
Yeah.
Where,
Dude, the worm.
I don't know what it would be. Well, yeah, the worm is an obvious. All 4 partners have to be in sync and they have to work together.
Well,
and all
that could happen at the games. I don't think you need that at semifinals, just because.
I mean, to be prolific. Whenever we do a team thing like that, you see the worm, right? Yeah. And that's what's going to come out.
I'm very adamant that they need to get in the grub or the slug.
Love the grub.
The grub, the 2-person worm. You got to use the 2-person worm. They won't do it. I don't know why. Because I feel like you have a guy girl does, I know there's not as much teamwork, but you send a guy girl out and they do some kind of relay with, worm and burpee or whatever it is. And then the other people do something similar, and you put your best people for this workout and then you do your best people for this workout. And I don't know, I just love the idea of the grub.
You love the grub.
I don't think it needs to be used all the time, but I think it could be one thing they throw in once every few years, they throw in the 2-person worm. Because it takes a little less communication. You can see a little bit more of a sprint because it's not as, they do 2-person synchro, so why can't they just do the grub? I don't know. The grub would be cool.
It would be cool. I'd like to see a send out your champion thing too, like David and Goliath style when they used to sort it out that way, Just get a hopper with 4 workouts and every one at a time. You don't know what the rest of them are. They pull one out and it's Zoe, this is you.
That's actually a good
pull
idea.
out another one. It's you're going now. Or cheesy probably, but last night, have you ever seen the Men in the Boat? I watched it last night. It's about a mid-30s rowing team, and they.
Oh yeah, I know the actors.
You think we should row?
If you'd have to have a day or 2 of instruction, and because obviously a crew team has a distinct advantage.
They did that at what was the competition?
Sid.
Yeah,
Strength and depth.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But was it one person or was it
one person?
Because 4 people working together is a completely different ball game.
Yeah, you're not a.
When they had us on
full
those
crew.
sliders at the games a couple years ago, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It was good.
I like that idea of having to do a teamwork outdoor implement, maybe like a bobsled.
Something, but we've seen sleds too. I don't know what it is.
Sports specific.
Yeah, I don't think we can make this
play
happen.
rugby.
I don't think it's going to happen in Fort Worth either.
They could. Yeah, you're right. What do you mean by since the worm's so Navy SEAL? What do you think they would use?
The idea
I'll give you cheesy examples.
Hey, we got a hopper. This is the first event. You're doing this.
I like the hopper idea.
And then somebody has to come out.
So what would it be? It would be something else that you carry. I don't know. Maybe they tie a bunch of the farmer carry rogue jerry cans together.
We did that last year.
Okay.
Not 4-person, but it has 2 handles on it. And me and my
something
male
where I don't know if you drop it behind me and it jerks me back, just like the worm. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The disastrous shit that happens with a worm is unique.
Wasn't the worm last year?
Earthworm last year.
Earthworm that was tied with the ropes, which you said was way harder, right?
It was way harder. It was cool. It was really cool, actually.
You're both right. I'm just saying it's still a worm.
Yeah.
So something totally new.
No, I'm fine with not using the worm every event, but I think they've done a good job in the past. I think the one year we didn't even use the worm
really
much, and they had a bunch of good workouts where 4 people were working, or at least
2019.
2.
Or they say in 2019,
I can't remember
maybe
what year it was. We still used it some, but there was one.
No, it was Ben's year.
What?
It was the year Ben was.
Yeah, it was
2022.
Was that with Chase or
no?
Sam. 22.
Because what was their team called?
Liberty.
Justice. They trained the worm so much because they were bad at it.
We didn't touch the worm till Saturday as well.
The last event.
Yeah.
And then they got to touch it.
We did burpees over it.
That was it before that.
And then it was 30-30-30. It was just like a worm mosh pile. It was here, we did do this, or this.
Oh yeah, it was the thruster, the clean and jerk, and I think the squat, maybe the 30s of each with muscle ups or I can't remember.
I want
them that was twice for the weekend. Echo biked.
I want them to bring back the litter where someone gets to ride on it.
Somebody gets to hang out.
Yeah, they might as well have done it for the thruster workout.
It's really surprisingly not a rest riding on that litter either.
That's what you guys are saying.
You're trying to not fall off the thing.
You're doing a freaking Russian twist.
It's not as bad as carrying the litter, but it is still.
That's cool. The litter would be cool.
It would be cool. A multi-person dog sled. Remember the dog sled from the Burden Run? So you got like a team of dogs.
Oh yeah, we didn't do that. I've never part of that one.
We did. So last year we did we pulled
sled.
it. We were all we all had foot holders, and we all pulled it. That was really cool. That was actually like I said. I think I said this on our games podcast. That was probably my favorite team event that I've done. I've done at the games. So
a team version of the wheelbarrow event, like something there where you're just like, hey, get all that shit from there.
They pushed the snail too.
There.
That was cool.
We had the snail. It's like a hay bale.
And we drug the shoulder strap sled.
Yeah,
we did that.
Yeah.
This would be a bad year for the wheelbarrow.
You're kind of speaking too soon. Like I don't think you have your facts right.
I'm just telling you what I want. I know what I
want.
want. I don't need more time to tell you what I want.
I know, but I think we've done what you want. I think everything you want, I think we've actually done.
Yeah, I can't. You're right. I can't articulate what it is because I'm not trying to invent it.
I'm
just saying like
it's out there.
It's out there.
Something's
the
out
truth
there.
is out there
that we haven't used.
I want to believe,
and you want us to use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something out there.
I want the same impetus of the worm, where again, causes disaster. If you're not in sync, you haven't practiced it before. Like the person in the back can't pull their weight, and all of a sudden everybody's screwed up or their head's on the wrong side. I love all that stuff. So I don't know what the next version of that, but it's like that.
I will say this weekend was the first time since I've been on a team that I wasn't like terrified from the worm events. Like the last 2 years, I always was like, son of a bitch. I do not want to use that thing. Because I always was so bad at it. I was always so bad at the worm.
I wish that, because the only time that I've ever used a worm was, I think it was when I came out for mustard seed, like before I lived here. And they were like, oh, yeah, jump in with Darren's team. And they put me in front, and they just rode me into the ground. And I told you this story, but Darren's like, that's how we do team events. You ride one partner into the ground, and then they just have to keep up for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
That's why Darren's such a good leader.
You bury them early, and then you're fine for the rest of the time.
But it changes everything. Like, I wish that every gym had a worm in it, because spectators would be far more invested in team events if they knew what that felt like, because it sucks.
They could do a better job of programming the team events. In my opinion, I'm sure in his opinion too, we're a little biased that like team is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's way more fun.
It's so much fun. It's so cool. Like everyone you talk to that has played team sports growing up is like, man, I wish I still had that camaraderie that I had back then. Or like anybody who's even played professional is like, that's even cooler, I would say. And then like we don't miss out on that at Mayhem, but I think a lot of people miss out on the team aspect of a sport.
That's, I mean, it's for lack of a better term, it's community. You know, it's like.
Yeah, and I think honestly, I think the difficulty is that in this now I'll say back in the day, like so when I was on the mic, early days, it was hard enough where every year, of course, you had like Rich Froning, Scott Panchik, and a couple of like really well-known people. But even in the individual field, you'd be like, we need to learn about this person and this person and this person because you're talking about it at the games. But then you got 6 team members, and some of them never been to the game. Some of them have been,
whatever. The best thing they ever did was get it to 4. 6 is too many.
Uniforms.
Yeah, and uniforms.
Because it used to be like, all right, Rich Froning's off the worm, and now female athlete 1 is on.
Yeah,
but they also they did. There was no rules on the uniform. There still should be. I feel like some type of like everybody on your team has to wear the same thing for each event or whatever.
And then but then like the last few years they give guys like 2 black shirts and girls 1 black shirt. It's like, okay, we're gonna wear black today. And the girl's like, well, we don't have enough black to wear again. Yeah, so that's like, it should be like, hey, here's jerseys for day 1, day 2, whatever.
2-person teams. That's the next.
Do you think?
Oh yeah, it's
same sex.
Same sex. Just throw down. It'd be fun.
I like that. And did you say this to me? I forget who told me this, but they were like, it would also be really cool to see the day arranged into a morning session with heat 1 and 2, all events for the day, and then an evening session with heats 3 and 4. And I get that like you couldn't shuffle and it would cause some logistics, but as a spectator, you'd be like, I'm going to invest 2 hours in the morning or 2 hours in the evening. And no offense to the first 2 heats, but oftentimes people don't want to watch that. Yeah. So you'd have like
then you could work
firepower, easy to watch show. Yeah.
You know. But what happens the next day if you competed at night and you did bad, and then you have to compete the next morning?
Hey,
I see.
Or vice versa.
Then don't
you're in an
bad,
early.
You know?
But what if you're in an early heat? You get way more rest than the nighttime.
Hey.
Pays to be a winner.
Pays to be a winner.
I'd rather at that point just say, hey, the first 2 heats you don't deserve to be here. We're only gonna have 20.
There we go.
There it is.
Just cuts after the first event.
There it is. Scott.
Have we talked about semifinals enough?
Well, for
teams.
Hang on. Right. I just want to say that I don't think enough people are talking about the fact that in back-to-back weeks.
Oh, they're going to talk about my Isabel. Sorry.
We swept the Torian team podium, and then we qualified 5 teams the very next weekend.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And won what?
Copacer.
Oh yeah, and we swept Copacer individual. Vic and Guy won, and qualified 7 guys, and 1 woman in Australia for keeping track, and maybe Asia.
Yeah, I think we picked up one in Asia or somebody we didn't know about in Asia. So.
It's been hectic.
Jake and crew doing great. Yeah.
It is extremely
Dom,
impressive.
yeah.
I don't know what to say about it besides that.
The Jakes, Dom, everybody.
It's,
Everybody the top athletes.
The plethora of Jakes that we have.
Yeah.
To you, is that proof of concept of the programming?
I mean, I think it's proof of concept of just the good people we have around that attract other good people and athletes that want to compete and want to. I don't think it's. Yeah, I mean, programming plays a heavy hand and coaches knowing their athletes. Yeah, for sure. But you can give athletes really good programming, and they just there's got to be. It's got to be all. Everything has to be on the same field, I guess, playing field. So it's impressive. It was cool to watch and be a part of that this weekend. And all those guys, man, there's a couple of them that you're like, dang, like Seth and Dre, so close, and Vigneault, who's been there a lot.
Tyler.
Your point about
Tyler
Seth though this
hurts,
morning is like, it's fantastic though. He's so young.
So young.
Yeah.
That's such validation right there where you're like that close of a miss.
So close.
He's going to come back fired up.
Yeah.
He already is pretty excited to
Is he?
get back to training.
Yeah.
Because I talked to him after, right on the floor. I was like, dude, I know you don't want to hear this, but if you're this close in this semifinal
Yeah.
Yeah.
with these guys,
Uh-huh.
like that should tell you right there you're the real deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's cool to see what he's come from and just being here. And
He gets so much better each year.
each year he
yeah.
gets makes big jumps,
He didn't look at all, I don't want to say that, but like last year he looked like he was new to the semifinal level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year he showed out on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that on Sunday, you belong.
Yeah.
He attacked that.
That's what I told him.
That snatch ladder was like probably
He got
One of
8th
the
and
most-
4th in the last 2 workouts.
yeah. I think watching him on the snatch ladder is probably the most veteran thing I've seen him do. He probably didn't even do it necessarily on purpose, but I said that to him afterwards. I was like, dude, you just attacked it perfectly.
Yeah.
Like smooth. I know he had that. I think he had that one miss at 245 or something.
Maybe, yeah.
But he was just smooth
ahead
through, and like there are a couple of guys who went out kind of hard, and he was just like methodical the whole time, and like knew, and it was his time to make the lift, and he just caught a few guys right there at the end, and he won that heat, right? He won the snatch ladder.
Yeah, he won his
And
heat.
I don't know who else. I mean, I know Luke was in his heat, who obviously has a better snatch than him.
Yeah, but Luke was just everywhere in that workout.
Luke has, I mean, I know, and yeah, Luke was there. He has a better snatch than Seth, and Seth's is good, but he just ran a perfect race. And like, I think there are even stronger guys in that heat too. He just ran a perfect race and passed him at the end.
Same thing on the last one too.
Yeah.
He won his heat as well in the rope climb box jump over workout, but then he ended up getting 16th on it.
That's crazy.
But he won it. I mean, he was in
And
the
that's
second
why I
heat.
texted him. I was like, he's like, man, it just sucks that, I said, that's why it pays to be in that later heat, man. And
Yeah.
so he did good.
I guess like to talk about the kind of athlete that Mayhem Athlete attracts, like what you were saying, is how many fans do you think Jack gained on his interview? His interview was incredible.
I didn't get to see his interview.
Oh, you didn't
'cause
see
I went,
it?
No, I went to the back.
Oh my gosh, it was
going to the
incredible.
back. Was it?
It was so good.
He's wearing that shirt.
He was
Yeah,
wearing
he's
this
wearing a Faith
shirt.
shirt.
And like you see him afterwards, like he's like pointing at the shirt.
I saw that, yeah.
And he's like pointing up. And then his interview is like, I think he said, yeah, I have like less stress with my job this year. I put all my focus really. He's like, the only reason I get to do this is like the strength I have in my faith. He said, he's like, I prioritize trying to be the best Christ follower I can, then best husband, then best father, and everything else just falls into place. And that's how he goes, that's how I got here. And I was
Heck
like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, he gained a lot of fans right there.
Heck yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, those are the type of people we want around.
Exactly.
And you talk about a perfect race. His was.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
His was
He
perfect.
knew that was his home
Yeah,
run too.
for
From
sure,
what
he
I'd
knew
heard
it.
in his testing,
He knew it.
Man.
But he didn't really take the lead until maybe the last barbell.
Jack
it was the second
Rosenberg?
signal.
He was
245,
close.
okay.
Yeah, he was
245.
in the top race the entire time. But yeah, 245.
Because
I
that
think.
takes some like internal.
Chill out a little bit, or
He's got a little governor in there to be like, no, you're cool. You're
But
cool.
I mean,
hold on.
I don't know. I don't know a lot about Jack necessarily, but I do know that he was like he wrestled at Ohio State. He's like legit wrestler for a long time. Like Sam
Military,
knows. Yeah, like he's been in those high pressure situations, and it shows.
It
Like
pays,
he shows
man.
that he could. He's been there. He's like, I know my ability here. Like I'm just gonna hang out. These guys, I can beat their times. Like I know that I can beat them. So I just have to run my race, and he knew he could do it. So yeah, that was a really good one.
Yeah, I think Jack excels in the sense that the moment doesn't get too big for him,
Yeah.
so he can hang in because he's played high level
played
sports.
high level military.
Yeah.
He's
So
been
he's
there.
not cagey in that situation.
Is he a lawyer or something too?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He's a lawyer in the Army.
Oh my gosh.
Big brain on this guy.
Yeah.
Jack,
Oh
you looking for a job?
Jack.
Yeah.
So
Come on
Jack
out.
and Hatfield are both the rookies that made it for us, and we couldn't have two more
No, but,
interesting.
Yeah.
Good dudes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I love those two
Rabbit
guys.
farmer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Austin
Oh, yeah.
Hatfield literally breeds rabbits.
Did they say he said something about like I'd just rather not talk about my personal life or something on here?
Yeah.
On the interview.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I didn't see it, but
Yeah,
that's awesome. So yeah, individual events were I thought pretty good. Like we said, there was a little bit biased towards the bigger, taller athlete, I think, but
I think so.
I had a blast watching them for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Like even the rope one, what you guys are saying, I think if it was 2 rope climbs, you're right, probably be a better test, but the speed of it,
yeah,
it was
no,
exciting.
The
It just
intensity
is
was
like,
there.
yeah.
Every workout came down to some type of sprint or close-ish finish. You know.
Yeah.
So let's shake this tree real quick. Should that region have gotten more spots? And I'll admit that I don't understand the power ranking thing
me either.
with
I
deep
have
enough,
no idea.
whatever.
Really hard to understand that.
I mean, if you,
But we got the same
I
amount.
haven't even, I don't want to speak to. I've not looked at like what their times are
No, I
compared to
haven't either.
other regions. Have you done any of that, Scott? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So we'll save that for another time.
I think probably not, because I think that how they have it figured
I
is
mean, we
probably
have 11,
fair.
and what did West get?
8, 9.
Yeah.
8 or 9. So I mean,
It's probably fine. I would like to look at the scores, minus the run one. You can't.
Yeah, you
compare
have to
those.
subtract the run.
subtract the run.
yeah, the run's different wherever you go.
But
And you know, I don't know.
but
The
I
other
mean, they
thing
I know
were,
though-
everybody gets so infatuated with comparing the scores at each semifinal. It's completely different.
yeah. I mean, they were
It's-
outside. In
Some were
California.
outside, some were inside. You week 1, week 2, week 3, you've had different times.
Yeah.
Like,
Different.
yes, it is cool, I guess, as a spectator, but you can't put too much of that into, you know, how athletes are going to do, because it's completely,
Yeah.
it's as much as they are the exact same, it's completely different. We all know that. I could watch you do a workout, and I know your time, and I know and saw how you paced it, and I'm going to beat you. You know,
Yeah.
like, it's
If we're of
just
similar fitness,
similar fitness, strategy is going to be huge. I mean, hell, we know that people, if you redo a workout within a weekend,
Yeah.
you can do infinitely
Exactly.
better. So
But maybe I guess what I would be saying then is it compelling enough though for an athlete to literally pick up shop and go move to compete in
to
a
a
different region?
spot. Yeah, I don't know about that. That might be.
That would be the larger implication if
Yeah.
you're like, this is
I actually
stacked.
kind of like
I can't, like the guys who lived in Central East when you were competing, and eventually they'd be like, okay, there's a champion spot, and then okay, Graham's got one too, so like 5 guys go.
Yeah, but
But
the
I'm like,
seventh
move.
place guy would,
Like, what are you doing?
the seventh place guy would have won like 3 different regions.
Yes, in those years, I was like, why isn't everybody moving to Texas? You know, like,
Yeah, the Southwest.
yeah, well,
Always
the
a
South
weekend.
Central.
I mean, and part of me, from like a spectator perspective, I would be fine with semifinals having different workouts,
Yeah.
because you get to see, like, as long as there's somebody overlooking each of them. But you might go to different semifinals, because it's cooler to watch
yeah.
because they're different events. But if
you,
I'm
you
going,
like the sanctional style. Is
I
what you-
love
yeah.
the sanctional style. I didn't like how you qualified to the games with only one spot,
Yeah.
but I loved the sanctional from an athlete perspective, because you could compete as many as you wanted to. You could go make a bunch of money,
Make a
and
bunch of money.
there needs to be, and I don't know the answer, and I have no idea what they're, I've seen or heard Dave talk about there's going to be big changes, but yeah, I mean, something more towards some type of like PGA scoring system to make
Yeah, I
it to the
think so, too.
games is better for the athletes, it's better for the spectators, it's better for everybody. So
Yeah, I think so too. I thought like
there's
the
also no money in an event.
yeah, that's
so
what I'm saying.
there's
yeah.
some way you got to figure that out.
the and it saves CrossFit money, because then they're
Yeah.
like, hey, you can you want us to back your competition? Cool. We're not going to do anything for
Marketing
you.
dollars, yeah.
You can use our name, and you give us all the glory, pretty much. And
There needs
you
to be
pay 'em,
somebody
it's
from
all the money out of your
CrossFit
pocket.
actually checking the workouts, because
Yeah.
as much as they said they were checking the workouts when sanctionals was going on, they were not checking
It
the
was
workouts.
widely varied,
It
yeah.
was, yeah.
Yeah, in the time of the sanctionals, I think the only thing with the sanctionals that was more difficult, it was just difficult to follow, like who's
Yeah.
competing where or when, and like who's qualifying for the games. Yeah, if like say we're gonna host however many throughout the year, let's say just 6 or 7, whatever, and the top 3 spots at each of them, you can do as many as you want. We're gonna take the top 3 spots of each
But
of
if
them.
you've pre-qualified,
If you
don't take a
pre-qualified, then
spot.
then you drop down. Then it would still make sense. It would drop down. But yeah, you can go to as many as you want.
Yeah, I don't
you
know
can
how,
make money.
honestly, as a only a golf fan when Tiger's doing well. I'd have no idea how the PGA works as far as points going to the PGA championship or anything like that.
Really either,
but
honestly.
who cares? Like if we're trying to bring in the casual fan to be like, all right, hey, I'll watch this. What is this? So
I can't speak to the PGA, but tennis, you could do it like that, which PGA is probably similar, but tennis has
with
4
your white privilege knowing tennis.
They have 4 Grand Slams.
Yeah.
And so those are like the big ones each year.
Right.
And so you could almost have like 4 competitions.
Yeah.
I don't know if the games falls in there somewhere because obviously they don't have that.
Yeah, because you look at PGA, they have the different. They have not Grand Slam. What's theirs? You have like the Masters. You have.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
What are those called? Majors. So
Yeah.
you have majors, and then the PGA Tour or the Tour Championship is their like finale. So you can do the same thing with the CrossFit
throughout
games.
the
You
year.
could do Rogue. You could do Wadapalooza. You could do these other things. This is just completely. Did you say gross?
Yeah, you said
Sorry, sorry, up a little bit.
I just love how you differentiated like the privilege between 2 country club sports.
I know. I was just kidding.
Tennis is where I draw the line.
I was just trying to ruffle some feathers, I was trying to take
we
Angela's seat.
We can talk about Tyler if you want. I would like to talk about it.
Okay.
Oh, I can't. I'm not ready yet.
I will say that guy hammered the weekend. I know how he did in testing, and I know how he did in competition. From everything that I saw, he exceeded all expectations of how he could do on those events when he went out there. So in that aspect, like and also in the fact that he has started doing the Mayhem performance coaching.
Yeah.
Yes, I think he said he has 14 clients right now.
Prioritize training a lot less.
Yeah. And he was as close or closer than he was in a qualifying spot all weekend long until the last one. No. No, I know. I texted him today and he's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty bummed out." But he said, in time I'll get over it. And I was like, "Well, I would say something's wrong with you if you were like, no, I'm cool."
Yeah.
No, dude, I'm cool. I'm good.
It was so hard watching.
But he ran a really good race. Like that snatch, I don't know how he feels on that, but I saw him do it in training and he destroyed how he did in training.
Really?
Executed as best as he could.
Yeah.
Like ran his own race, he didn't miss a single lift. He's not the best snatcher, so 265 was like he was kind of nervous about possibly missing those. Didn't miss them. Wasn't even close to missing. Just smoked them all the way through.
On every single event, outsider looking in, even compared to like years past, he just looked really composed. Like first 2 days, I even said it to him.
He's
I was
always
like,
so
just
composed.
Looks
like that's the one thing about Tyler. He's always composed. At times, too composed.
Yeah.
I didn't see any at point where I was like, "Oh, he's being too calculated."
No, I don't think he was. I think he did good.
It just hurts so bad. Watching it, I was in the last lane right in front of him, and just with his parents too, and talking to his dad and mom all weekend. Man, that just hurts. And just watch, you could just see it slipping, like literally as the dumbbells are falling. It was like a metaphor of, and and I just talked to his dad, and I'm like, he's like, man, until the last one's over, I don't feel good. And I'm like, nah, this last one, like, he's good at all those things, you know? I'm like, he's one of the best lungers I've ever, been around. You're just like, oh, it hurt.
The worst part too was 2022, same venue, same final move. Granted, it was overhead, and but it was lunges to the finish. And I remember sitting in the stands, like filming you, filming him, filming you.
Yeah.
As it's slipping away, and then doing the same thing this year.
Again.
I told Bailey during the competition, and I told Tyler after. It's like Michael Scott said, I'm allowing myself to be hurt again.
Yeah. Ben said you made that comment.
The first couple workouts, I was like, I'm not going to think about it. It's Tyler. I'm not going to think about it. It was after on Sunday, I started with the row handstand walk workout,
which we knew was his worst workout.
And that combination kept him out in the last chance qualifier a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He did whatever he got. He got 17th on that, but he moved up a spot.
Yeah, which wasn't
He
bad.
went from 10th to 9th.
Yeah.
And after that, I was all in.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
I'm like, Tyler's going to the game.
And then I'm like, in the last one, he can lunge.
And then he snatched and he celebrated. And I asked Jake, I was like, is that good for him? He said that's exactly what he had to do.
Oh, yeah. That was
like 7:30.
When I saw him do that on the snatch. Yeah, it was like 7:30. I'm serious. I think he when I saw him do that workout in training, I think he took his last attempt like right at 11 minutes, like a buzzer beater.
Oh, shit.
He destroyed it for what I saw him do. So I was like, when he did that, I'm like, that's when I was like, it's over. Like he made it. Like there's no way.
And in my head, there's not a ton of, obviously everything's as hard as you make it, but echo bike, ring muscle up, lunge, like farmer's hold lunge to the finish. I'm like, you can't mess that up.
No.
But guys are just fast at that.
Yeah. Those guys are really good at the bike.
The worst irony for me was that, like, of course I wanted to just be like super safe by the end of it. You know, like Sam, somebody you say
he could have
gotten last. He was mathematically in, right? But then I kind of came to terms with it the same way, and I was like, actually, this is perfect. You know, I was like, here comes the moment.
Redemption.
And even, Adrian Conway teed him up. He was like, this is Tyler's year. Like, he deserves it. And so I'm in the car, the same thing. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then Corone took off like a shot, and it all kind of, as it started to play out, I was like, no, there's no way. It's not happening.
Right? I think Corone was right in front, right behind. Was he right behind or right in front of him?
Corone was behind him on the leaderboard.
That is not the guy you want behind you for an echo bike sprint to finish an event. That's not the guy.
Corone,
like, he's good at that. Yeah,
Corone is just like a full-grown man.
Yeah.
That's the only way to describe him.
He had like a heart full of anger from last year too.
Yeah.
He's so good on the bike. He's good at gymnastics, and he's just big and strong. So the dumbbells, I knew he was going to do good. Yeah. I'm like, he just needs other people. Tyler doesn't need to worry about him. He's not the guy he needs to look at. He needs to just hope that he can push the other guys back.
And the problem is Travis Mayer already set a really good time too.
Travis Mayer,
that's a good workout for him.
Yeah.
He's just got those long gorilla arms too.
When I saw Corone out of the cannon, it's over. I knew it.
Why didn't you tell me? Could have saved me some heartache.
Love you, Tyler.
Probably not, but love you, Tyler.
That was the thing too. I remember asking you, Rich. I was like, "What?" Pour one out. I was like, "What is this like?" It's like choosing between your kids. You know, which one's your favorite? Because for him to get in, or for Seth to get in, or Vino or Dre,
Luke out.
They were gonna have to force out Luke or Corone or whoever, because the only non-Mayhem guy from 5th all the way down to the cut line was Mayer that got in.
Yeah.
So, and it was kind of like Hopper and Dowan.
I love Travis.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Sorry, buddy, but we got
it. Good idea, but we have to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's about Georgia somewhere is where we draw that line.
Jeff, Dowan, and Hopper were all way in.
Yeah.
So then everyone else was Mayhem, and then Mayer was on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And he got in on the last one. So otherwise we'd have had 8 guys. It's crazy.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
It was the most hectic. Having 7 guys in the final heat for 2 straight events was the most chaos I've ever felt.
We had 3 in the second to last heat each time.
No, we had 5.
5.
It was 5 and 7. We had 12 of the last 20.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was emotional.
Hurts. All right.
We should have Tyler on. You know, when he's ready. You know, we could clear the air for a while, but it'd be awesome to have his kind of like retrospective on the last, not just this season, but last couple.
I told him too on the floor. I think we've said this on the podcast. Maybe we've called Tyler the standard.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, if you think you can go to the games, you have to decide if you're fitter than Tyler or not.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I don't think it was too soon because the relationship we have is pretty good. But I was like,
and
first we're like, hey, first it was like, hey, love you, bro. And then it was like, you're still the standard, buddy.
Still the standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was tough. It was really tough.
Yeah.
Well, he's got awesome things ahead.
Sure.
He seems pretty lit up about the coaching and stuff. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's going to sting for a long time. I'm sure that he
for sure
had different plans for this year.
What else we got?
You're doing TAC this weekend.
TAC?
Yeah, doing TAC. I don't really even know what. I mean,
Mayhem Hunt launches next week.
Mayhem Hunt.
So this goes out tomorrow. So it launches in
the 10th.
6 days from when
Angela's
this podcast
got it all programmed
comes out.
in. We got a bunch of videos ready for you guys. Looking forward to that. Getting you ready for the fall. Everyday Hero Games coming up. BCS Classic. Qualifiers just dropped. So go to BCS Classic, check that out.
Let's pause on Everyday Hero for a second because we've got a, in addition here, a little, whose feet can I smell from here, by the way?
Probably mine.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah.
Impressive.
Shoes got really wet this weekend.
Not even that.
Should you hold that thing up, your footrest?
What's that?
Should you hold up that footrest?
Oh, you can't see it?
No.
Oh.
It's not an ottoman.
Well,
I guess it could be.
You can shout out. So shout to Grizzly Coolers, who's been awesome coming on as a supporter. It seems like they're going to be a big part of Hunt, hopefully, but certainly for Everyday Hero Games, they've been a supporter. They're giving you guys 10% off site-wide for the code EDH. Does not include deer stands. So,
dude, have you
site-wide asterisk?
Yeah, I want one so bad. We need to put 2 up out here. I mean, they look incredible.
I have seen them.
Incredible. Have you seen them?
I saw Levi Morgan was setting one up. Actually, I saw it.
Like
they're awesome. like almost like houses, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
It's like sitting in this cooler in the middle of the. It's awesome.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah, in the winter, it sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does.
And then you guys incorporated these into some workouts, right?
Yeah. You can actually, they've got some like plastic foot
pegs
that you could like sled pull, sled push with. And then we did some step ups and stuff. You'd have to have a pretty good spot. We need to talk to them about either putting like a metal slider on there where you could push on pavement or something. But I mean, you throw the dumbbell on there. It was actually pretty crappy.
Which for a home gym, like to someone who is like, scratching their head about that. Oh, dude, like I've got how much do you use your cooler and how much does it sit around? And like, so you can I use mine all the time for box jumps and step ups and whatnot if I'm just at the house doing something.
Yep.
So and it's not
we attached a 100-foot rope to it. We was doing hand over hand pulls with it with the dumbbell on the top. It was actually pretty good. It'd be a nasty little workout.
So it's an investment almost in like a fitness tool as well as a cooler. It's going to keep everything cold and nice.
And it's grizzly bear proof.
Yeah. And it's grizzly bear proof, just in case.
Should we test that?
I don't want to be around grizzlies. I'll take them to a black bear.
We'll just get Trice on it.
Yeah.
See if he can destroy
like
it.
a Wolverine.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to like be around them to, you just kind of set the
just leave it out there.
Set it out there. What's that? Oh, you just pour bacon grease all over it?
There's like some mash. You're supposed I saw Cam Haynes talk about some kind of like some kind of stuff you just throw in. It's all sugary and they just love it.
Yeah. No. Anything else?
Man, no. What's the date? What's the 3rd today? So we'll do another show next week.
Every Hero Games are
cool.
programmed pretty much. We had Watkins and Justin test them, right?
I need to test them with Ben.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Be a good test.
Yeah.
But excited about the in-person versions.
It's going to be rad. Yeah, I'm really excited. And my partner, we made new friends with Austin. Yeah. Shout out Austin. But he's a K-9 officer down in Nashville. Oh, cool. And so he said some of his crew, you invited some of his crew come up and check it out and watch out. So yeah, it's kind of gaining momentum, it might be a full building, good vibe. I'm saying prayers for the teachers, really.
Well, yeah, we had trouble getting some teachers there, right? Or was it teachers?
Yeah, it was teachers.
Military women as well.
Military women and teachers. We had trouble, we had to go down the leaderboard a little bit, so make it happen.
Yeah, if your occupation doesn't do as well and you want to change that,
get it together.
Try it out.
Yep. Yeah.
Change it. Yeah.
Join Mayhem Athlete with code Angelo.
Yeah, that's where you need to start. We'll start there. Do the Everyday Hero program. Yeah, and then sign up for the qualifier. So, yeah, if you get butthurt, you're like, "Oh man, they're picking on whoever." Well, get in there and do better. Yep. Get in there. If you think you can do better, sign up.
Do it.
Sign up and try to beat them.
Code 100%. Angelo.
And actually, that was another shout out to the Border Patrol folks who were there. It's funny because you never know, right? So I was like, do you guys do CrossFit? And the woman I was talking to in particular was like, yeah, actually, I've owned an affiliate for 10 years. Used to compete at a low level or whatever. So like, I love it when it's authentic like that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I love it.
They're out there.
They're out there. All right.
Good one. Peace.